7.41. In this problem, first we'll begin from this bottom part using slot sketch tool, and then in the middle we are going to add this sketch and we'll extrude as given by the dimensions, and finally we are going to add the fillets. So start sketch on top plane. Let's use this center point slot tool. This is diameter 40, so radius is 20. Center distance as given 125. Let's add few more circle over here of diameter 20. Now let's use shortcut key S and X2. So it is of 13. Now let's in front plane draw the sketch like this. Now let's add circle of diameter 20. Now this height from this is given as 71. The center distance from bottom given as 45. So this center and this is given as 46. And from here to here, overall dimension is 62. Now let's add circle as well. So from here it is of 40. Now let's extrude. So let's go to feature and create extrusion. So here we need to select mid plane and let this as well. Now let the total depth is equal to 40, right? So instead let's use both the directions. This time up to surface is this one, and direction 2 similarly up to surface this one. So if slot dimension changes, this will also change accordingly. Now here let's edit this sketch and add one more circle of this radius, so we can use for extrusion. So let's edit that extrusion too. Now let's use same sketch and click on extrude. This time we'll use this middle part and remove this. Now the problem with this SolidWorks is that it remember what we have used in last instance. So this is a little bit annoying. So let's start the extrusion from middle plane, and the total depth will be 64. Now on this plane, let's add two circles. One is of 10, second is of 25. Now let's start display of temporary axis. So select this and this, let's make them coincident. So this and this should be vertically aligned. So we do not have to give the dimension of 45. So now let's go to extrude cut. Here we'll use the smaller circle first. Instead we'll go for up to next. and click OK. Now let's turn off the temporary axis display. Expand same sketch, this time extrude cut. The depth is 6. Depth is 6. Use the blind and enter the 6 depth. Now let's create the cut on top face. So let's choose the proper plane and create a sketch. Here let's draw first horizontal line. Select this one, convert into entities. Select this line, convert to entities. This depth is 6 millimeter as given, and as well as let's enter the dimensions from center to it is given as 60. Now let's trim out the additional part. So let's go to extrude cut. Let's select mid plane and the depth is 25. And now let's select this surface and draw the circle. Go to feature and create extrude cut. This time not mid plane. Reverse the directions, or you can just go through all. Now let's add fillet of value 3. Now let's apply the fillet. Now along with that, let's add this as well. Now here, I think I have made a mistake. I haven't utilized this 16 millimeter dimension. So let's measure from here to here. It has to be 16, but here it's come out 12. So let's edit the model. So here, let's edit the feature. Instead, I will use outer circle and inner circle. And click OK. And create extrude cut. This time I will choose this region. Okay. But instead, we need to offset the surface from here, the blind thickness of 16. Similarly, let's use same extrude cut. Let's select the surface, and here line thickness will be 16, but we need to select the proper region. So this region. So it is 16. Now let's roll back. Here, let's edit because we modified it. So let's select this part and convert to entities, trim this and remove this. Again, let's remove this line and add vertical line. And remove this through trim. Now let's add from here to here, it is 16. and let's exit. Now let's measure the volume. So it is 224373, which is correct answer. In problem 7.42, on front plane we draw this sketch and they'll offset by 9 millimeter, and then we'll extrude by 38 from the mid plane, and this common area will be used to remove the material by 20 millimeter. And from the right side we are going to add this L shape. So sketch on front plane, start line, this is already given of 125. This is from the top view, it is 90, and this is of 50. And from here, let's complete the sketch. Now let's add, this is of 25. From here to here it is given as 55. And this line is at 30 degree, as well as length of the line is 22. Now let's offset by 9 millimeter. Now let's choose and take this select chain options. Now let's extend. Now let's remove the unwanted part of a geometry. Now let's extrude the outer shape at mid plane by 38. Let's reuse same sketch again, and this time we'll remove the material. Again mid plane, but this time depth is 20. Now on side, let's start L shape sketching. So from here, now let's add dimensions. This is 6. This is 10. And from here it is 10 again. And from here to here it is 65. Let's draw a small center line and mirror the created region. So select the region, click on mirror, select the center line. Let's go to extrude features. Instead midplane, choose blind condition and add the depth as given in top view 65. Now let's measure the volume. So it is 200/178, which is complete match. In problem 7.43, in front we are going to draw this sketch and we'll extrude this rectangular part first. Then we're going to create the reference plane and we'll extrude this bracket portion and we'll mirror it. We'll try to see if it is possible to mirror it or not, or we need to create the additional reference plane. And finally, we're going to add this cylindrical portion on the top. Let's use midpoint line. Now let's add dimensions. This is 125. This is 80. Sorry, this is 225. Now let's add center line so we can mirror the line. Now let's offset the top line by 10 millimeter, not the chain. Now let's inside line. Once again, select this line and click OK. Now let's trim out additional part. Now let's join this line. Now let's add line over here. So from here to here it is 40. Now let's add circle whose diameter is 16. Now let's select all this line, click on mirror, select the mirror line. Now let's extrude. So this center part, right click mid plane, and the entire depth is 130. Now let's create a reference plane. Here the offset distance as given in top is 13. But let's flip the offset. Now let's expand same sketch over here and try to extrude. This time we'll choose this one, this region. Instead, we'll select this sketch plane. Line condition, let's flip the direction and we'll enter the 15 thickness. Now let's try to mirror. Select this plane, this feature, and click on mirror. And let's say, now see, this is the problem. Because we use the reference plane and starting condition is this, even after mirror, it remains stick to the initial condition. So this is what happened when we change this from condition. So let's delete the mirror feature. Again, let's create one more custom plane. Let's flip it. Now again, let's do the same thing. Select the first sketch, select this region. Now let's select the custom plane 2 and the direction is correct, which is inward and by 15 millimeter, and click OK. So you can turn off the display of reference plane. Now click on fillet, radius is 13 and choose this edge. Now let's add the cylindrical part. The diameter is 62 and offset is 6. Not outward but inward. Now let's go to feature and extrude. This time we'll choose outer cylinder and here the reference distance is 65. Again, expand same sketch. Now select extrude cut. Instead, let's select the inside circle and select through both all conditions to remove the material from top and bottom. Now let's add chamfer as given. It is 5 by 45. Now let's measure the volume. So it is 749997, a correct answer. In problem 7.44, we'll use the sketch, then we'll extrude it. And from the top, we are going to remove the material. We'll also add this rectangular block and we'll remove these semicircular portions along with this front and back cut. So from here, let's complete the sketch. Let's add horizontal line. Now let's add overall dimensions. From here to here it is 60. This is 6. $22. This is 25. 6. Overall is 51. And from here to here, diametrically it is 105. So these two lines are aligned. This is 10. This is 13. And from here to here it is again 13. So let's select all of this line. Click on mirror. Now let's extrude. This time let's select the mid plane and overall depth is 65. Obviously they are disjointed because I deliberately left this space over here. Automatically accommodate the front and back cut. Now on the top, let's select this and create rectangular section which is of 51 by 51. Let's add circle as well of 40. So let's extrude. Let's select the contour, this one, and starting surface is this up to vertex. Again on top, let's add the rectangle part. So it must be this must be equal to 51. And from here to here it is going to be 7. Similarly from here to here it is 7. Now let's mirror. Now let's extrude or up to next. Again let's expand second sketch. Now let's create extrude cut. So here let's select the contour and up to surface this. Again expand same sketch. This time let's select through all. Here we need to select the central part. Now let's create semicircular cut over here. Instead I'll go for full circle. Select these and make them tangent. Similarly, let's select this and make them tangent. Now let's go for extrude cut. Now let's measure the volume. So it is 220,457, which is correct answer. In problem 7.45, we'll use this section and we'll revolve it. Then we'll add this cut to find the volume. So let's go on a right plane. First, let's draw center line. Now let's add dimensions. This is 400. This is 500. This is 50. And these two lines need to be parallel. And distance between them is given 35. Also, angle is 22 degree. Now this dimension is 60. This is 150. And overall dimension is by height is 200. Now let's add radius of 50. And let's revolve the section. Let's go to top plane. Now let's create the first circle of 300. Second of 420. Now let's draw a center line. Now let's draw the inclined line. Now let's make them symmetric about horizontal center line. Now typical angle is 60 degree. So from here to here it is 60 degree. Let's draw vertical center line. Select this and click on mirror. Now let's remove the additional lines. Let's do undo. In case if you have a problem, then choose this option, keep trim entities as a construction geometry. So this is our section. So let's go and extrude cut. Here we need to apply fillet of, let's say, as given 10 millimeter. Similarly on this side. Again, select on top plane. This time the radius is 260, diameter 260. Another circle of 440. Same way, let's draw a center line. Let's draw a line to create the circular section. Let's make them symmetric about vertical center line. And let's add angle 60. Now we do not have horizontal line. Let's add first. Now click on mirror. Select horizontal line. Now let's tick these options to avoid any further complications. Because sometimes remove the relationship, that is radius or tangency. So this is our section. Let's go and create extrude cut. Now let's add fillet. So this time fillet is 15. Now let's measure the volume. So volume is 7574164. While the answer is given, last three digits is 190, which is very close. So find your answer and let me know in comment box. What is your value of volume? In problem 7.46, we'll begin with this case. We'll offset these outer slot, drawing entities, and we'll add the circular section. And gradually we'll extrude one by one as per the given depth of extrusion. So on front plane, let's try to use this slot. This dimension is 60. This radius is given 50. Now let's offset by 10 millimeter, but inside. Now let's add circle over here of diameter 13. Let's make them equal. Now let's also add circle of diameter, radius of 10, so diameter is 20. Now let's trim. So let's continue trimming operation. Later we are going to add this 10 millimeter offset distance all around. So this is the problem when you trim the slot. That's why we need to choose keep trimming entity as construction geometry. Now let's add fillet, sketch fillet of value 4. Now let's add circles having diameter 50. and offset by 5 millimeter. Now let's offset arc by 7 millimeter. This should be reverse in direction. Similarly, let's go for this arc. And let's draw this line to this line. Similarly, from here to here. Now let's trim additional geometry. Here I made a mistake. This is not 4. This is 6. So let's click it and make it 6. Now let's go again and apply 4 millimeter fillet. Now let's extrude. First we are going to extrude this along with these small circles. Mid plane by 11. Expand same sketch. This time we will use this section of extrusion instead of mid plane. The blind thickness is given as 20. But here the surface is this. So from it is 20. Again expand this. Now let's create extrusion of this region, which is by 10 millimeter. So starting surface is this. From here it is 10 millimeter. Again expand first sketch. This time we're going to remove the material. So from starting condition is this, and we'll have a blind condition, reverse, and the thickness is 5. So again let's consider backside extrusion. Again select the sketch 1 and extrude. We are going to use this part. Okay, but the starting condition is this surface. Now let's clear this section, this one. So let's go blind on opposite direction by 8 millimeter. So we are only extruding this part as given in isometric view. Let's measure the volume. It is not correct. So let's find the error. If you inspect carefully, this depth should be 5. Okay. So we need to modify the extrusion. Instead of, we need to select this and right click. Again, let's roll back. Use same sketch, or you can use original sketch, and this time let's create extrude cut. But the starting condition will be this surface and this will be 5. Now roll back again. Now let's measure the volume again. 401,679. Now this is correct answer. Problem 7.47. We'll first create this vertical part. And on the front side, we are going to draw this section as given over here and extrude it, and then we'll mirror it and we'll try to add this top part. Now click on right plane. Let's use midpoint line. Now let's add dimensions. This is 80, 150. Now let's extrude by 12. Select this face and let's create rectangle. So from here to here it is 30. And from here to here it is 180. And this is as well 30. Now let's make this point and this entire line coincident. Let's add line over here. So we can create extrusion over here. Now let's go to feature and create extrusion. The depth is 12. Now click on this surface. Select this line and convert into entities. Let's trim additional part. So first this line is of 35 at an angle of 35. So this must be parallel to each other as given in the sketch. So this is of 10. All these three lines must be collinear and they are from bottom at 12. Now from here to here it is 15 as given. From here to here as well 15. Now, so this fourth line is inclined at 25 degree. These two lines must be parallel. Similarly, these two lines must be parallel. And this is inclined with this at 15 degree. And this distance is typically 20. Now let's give distance between them 20. As it is given in detail view, 20 typical. So now let's extrude cut. Select this region, this one, and this one. Now let's add fillet of 2. Is not only applied over here, but in all directions. So we need to select all these edges. So this is what exactly given in detail view. Now let's mirror with respect to front plane. Now let's expand second extrude feature. Create extrusion. This time we'll use this region. So in one direction it is 12 OK, and second direction is up to surface is this. Now let's add chamfer of 10 by 45. Now let's measure the volume. So it is 334,529, which is correct answer. In problem 7.48, on front plane we are going to create the sketch and we are going to revolve it. And on the top we are going to add the cuts to find the volume. Start sketching on front. Let's use line. Now let's add dimensions. This is 15, 17. Select these, press escape and click on right side to add the 10 dimensions, and overall dimension is 44. Now one more thing is remain is angle. So let's zoom, select dimension tool, select this and this one. This is going to be 6 as given. Now let's revolve. Now let's select the front plane. Now let's make them symmetric about selected center line. Now let's add dimensions 3, height 4, and create extrude cut both directions. Now let's go for circular pattern. We need to use this one and select this. So we need not 4, only 2. Okay, let's use spacing 90 degree. So 2 including seed feature. Now let's find the volume. 6277, which is correct answer. In problem 7.49, we'll use polygon tool to extrude by 37. And on the top, we'll use the center point rectangle tool to create one cut, and then we'll pattern it. So let's create on top. Now let's radius is 19. Let's make this one side horizontal and extrude by 37. On the top, let's use center point rectangle tool. Now let's dimensions 4. Now let's create extrude cut, and depth is 4. Okay, now we need to create a reference axis. So for that, select this and choose 2 plane, and that 2 plane will be front and right, and click OK. Now let's go select this extrude cut feature and click on circular pattern. Here we have 3 and we need to use the reference axis. So it is not equal. Instead, we need to add 120 degree. Let's see how it comes out. Now let's turn off the display of axis and find the volume. It is 10822, which is correct answer.